You scoot. Hello. Straighten it. No. Hey, come on. Stop. Stop. Everybody stop. Come on. Come on. Come on. Stop. Hush. Welcome, Sage and Tiger Yoga Channel. I'm John, and this will be a beginner session. We'll try to go about 45 minutes. The last time I tried to go 45 minutes, it was like an hour 5, so I get caught up in it. But I'll try to keep it to 45 minutes this time. All kinds of exciting stuff happening right now. She's excited, her plane is flying by. Everything was peaceful until 1:45. Come into easy pose, the cross-legged position. Take a moment. Let's you and I take a moment out of the hustle of everyday life. Just take a moment to let mind, body, breath, soul quietly come together. Sometimes life can seem like a list of things to do, places to be, people to see, this, that, and the other. Sometimes you sort of get lost in the routine or in the hustle. But let's take a moment for ourselves with yoga. A moment, not a selfish moment, but a simple moment to take time together, mind, body, breath, soul, and be the human that's doing all the being. I hope she calms down. All right, let's go ahead and get warmed up. Go ahead and grab your knees if you can. I'm afraid to grab them. Take a deep breath here. And then simply turn your head to look over your right shoulder. Think about the neck being straight up and down. Think about looking over that shoulder. Think about the back straight. And then let's slowly go over to the left. Turn your head to the left. Look over that left shoulder. And then look forward. And let's roll out the neck muscles. Now with the neck bones straight up and down, drop your chin to your throat and then roll your head around one way and then roll it around the other way. Try to have the back and the neck going straight up and down. Do that again. You'll feel the muscles of the neck. They might go creak and crack. As you do this, you just don't want to hurt yourself. Looking forward, inhale your arms up and take a moment to reach up. Now, as I'm doing this these days, I have really bad problems with both shoulders, torn rotator cuffs. So I take it kind of easy here. Let's take your right hand behind you, elbow straight, backbone straight up and down. And look over your right shoulder. So think of this as a spinal twist from your hips, through your backbone, through your shoulders. Your body is twisting. And your head might want to drop down like you're looking around the corner. Don't do that. Neck bone straight up and down, and that chin looking over the right shoulder. And then inhale the arms up and reach up. Oh, this is hard for me. And let's do a spinal twist. to the left. My yoga these days is more for those who've been beat up a little bit or for those who've never done yoga before. So we'll take it easy. The main thing here, inhale the arms up, reach up, is to just simply to move your body. Grab your knees. Now, if you like, recross your knees. This knee's been replaced, so it's more valuable than this knee. So I usually have this knee out front, but I try to mix it up. So you might have a better knee than the other knee. So anyway, just however it's good for you from the cross-legged position, grab your knees and stir your torso out like you're stirring right around through the hips. Good, let that feel good. Nice. Now let's come on to the hands and knees. We'll come into what's known as table pose. Hello, everybody. Glad to see everybody. Yes. So the back is straight. With your back straight, hands and knees under hips, hands underneath your shoulders. Take your backbone back and forth. Arch the back up in cat pose, like a scaredy cat. And then inhale, sway your back in cow pose. Exhale into cat. And inhale into cow. Do this at your own speed for a little bit. Let that backbone move. Let it feel good for the backbone to move. No, don't you do that. And from here, let's go ahead and take the knees out wide to the sides. Walk your hands away from you toward the front of your mat. Drop your elbows down. Drop your head all the way down to your mat. Rock your tailbone back as far as it wants to go. It might feel good here to walk your fingertips away from your shoulders. Take a moment, deep breaths here. Let this feel good. Now lift your upper body up just a little bit and take both elbows off of your mat to one side or the other. It shouldn't be hard, but if you have little helpers like I do, it can become difficult. But stay here for a moment on your elbows. You can drop your head low and wiggle your left hip and your left shoulder and see about a good stretch in that left side. Take a moment here, let this feel good. Wiggle the hip, wiggle the shoulder. And then when you've had enough, and everybody else too, you go ahead and scoot over to the other side. Both elbows off the left side of your mat. Stay here for a moment. Push your hips back. Wiggle your hips. Wiggle your shoulders. Take a moment here and let this feel good. It'll feel good to stretch through your side. And then walk your hands back to your feet. Come back onto the hands and knees and go through cat pose. And go through cow pose. Do that a couple of times on your own. I hope it's not dangerous for you. It's a little dangerous for me because this little dog's got some sharp teeth. Stop it. Curl the toes under, rock back to what's called down dog, and walk your hands back to your feet. It's hard for me, so just do the best you can. And then from here, reach up, stretch up, stay here. Just work your arms back and forth. I'm going to try to get my microphone back on. Not doing well today. Just stretch up, make this the best stretch up that you've had all day. Taking a deep breath here. Now don't let your tummy collapse, but pull the tummy muscles in tightly and let your upper body now hang. Let your upper body be heavy. Don't look at your toes. When you look at your toes, you're lifting up. Drop your head low. Look behind you. Look between your knees. Deep breaths here. Now very slowly, go slowly. Roll up and reach up. Again, take a moment here. Let this feel good. Reach up toward the sky. Lengthen through your spine. You can kind of pull one side up a little bit and then pull the other side up. Inhale here, belly button in tightly. Ragdoll, let the upper body hang. Just stay here for a moment. Remember, don't look at your toes, but look between your knees, look behind you. If you're having trouble here, it takes a while, but if you keep doing this, slowly roll up, you'll get some flexibility here. All right, now bring your ankles together if you can, and then hands together overhead. And we're going to come into a back bend, but that might not be for you. You may very well want to take your feet a little bit apart, bring your hands to your lower back, and then rock back. So I put my hand back there and there's something wet back. I thought, oh gosh, what could be wet? Anyway, a gentle back bend with support, or you can bring your ankles and toes together, arms overhead, hands together, and rock back into essentially a yoga style back bend. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. As you do your yoga, try to breathe only through your nose. And this is difficult to do, but it's worth it. It's worth working at this. Now inhale your arms up, and then on an exhale, we're coming back to ragdoll. And coming all the way down, looking between the knees, looking behind you. Now from here, lift your chin and look forward. Bring your hands to your shins. Walk your hands out to push-up position. When you get there, you can drop straight onto your knees. It's going to be just fine. So come to a good push-up position. Drop down to the knees. Come to low push-up. Lay on your tummy. Now staying on your tummy, use your back, not your arms. Inhale into cobra and stay here and breathe. Now try to get your toes and your ankles touching. Lift your chin, try to look forward a little bit. So you're pulling up, but you're not using your arms. Now we're going to use the arms. So staying on the knees, push up and look up to up dog on your knees. Stay here for a moment. Don't let your shoulders collapse. Be strong in the shoulders. And then take the knees a little bit wide and rock back. Rock forward, stay on your knees to knee plank. Come down. Lay on your tummy. Inhale into cobra and stay here. Staying on your knees, push up and look up. And then rock back on your knees again. Stay here for a moment. Let that feel good. We're going to do that one more time. I need you to get off. But if you can, let's do one the hard way. Come on to your toes. So we're down dog, tailbone up, head between your arms. Rock forward to plank, chaturanga, lay on the tummy, cobra, push up to up dog on your knees, and rock back, knees wide. Lay your head all the way down to your mat. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Thank you, everybody involved. All right, let's go to down dog. Yes, I love you. Walk your hands back to your feet and slowly roll up, reach up. Nice. All right. We are going to do a series of poses that are called the warrior poses. They're pretty simple, really good beginner poses. So we'll start at the front edge of your mat. You'll come into mountain pose. You can have your hands by your hips, or you can have your thumbs to your heart. Inhale and stretch up. Come down. Lift it forward, fold. Lift your chin and look forward. Hands to your shins. Try to get your backbone straight. Now from here, we're going to take our left leg back to a lunge. Now in a lunge, chest to your thigh, chin lifted, look forward. Your hips are going to want to stick up, so try to get a straight line from your neck through your backbone, through your leg, to that heel in the rear. Good straight line. If you can, both hands to the floor. If not, you're good. Chest all the way down to your thigh. Now we're going to go to warrior one. So turn your foot in the rear to the side. Going to bring your upper body up. Hands to your hips. Twist them forward. Now experiment with your lunge coming forward. Now you can stay here with your hands on your hips. You're just fine. Or for warrior one, we can take the arms up. Try to have a little bit of a curve in your back. Look forward. Or if you can, look up a little bit. Very good, everybody. Hands to your hips. Straighten out your front knee for a moment. Turn your hips to the side. We'll come to warrior two. So arms out. Don't let the shoulders shrug. Experiment with your lunge. The backbone wants to lean forward. Try to have the backbone straight up and down. Deep breaths in and out through your nose. Now we'll come to reverse warrior. So turn the palm up in the front. Rock your shoulders up, right shoulder up, left shoulder down. If you like, right here, straighten out your front knee. You're good. Or after you get used to this, it'll feel good to keep a nice lunge here. Feel right shoulder up, left shoulder down, look up towards your right hand. But feel a good stretch through your right side. You'll really feel it in the ribs. Warrior two, just for a moment, and then come to a lunge. facing forward. And then bring your left foot forward to a fold. Slowly come all the way up and reach up. Bring your arms to your side and shake out your shoulders. Very, very good. Okay, let's do the same thing, but let's go on to the other side. So, from the front edge of your mat, mountain pose. Inhale the arms up. Gently dive down. Lifted forward fold, look forward. Take your right foot back, this time to a lunge. Try to make it a good lunge. Back straight, chin lifted. Don't have the hips up. Back straight, knee straight in the rear. Turn the foot in the rear to the side. Upper body comes up. Start with your hands on your hips. Twist your hips to face forward. When we go to Warrior Two, the hips will go to the side. But now we want to go to Warrior One here. So the hips face forward. You can stay here. Stay with your hands on your hips. You're fine. Or we can take both arms up. Remember, when the arms come up, don't let your shoulders shrug. And since I have injured shoulders, for Warrior One, I bring my hands together, and that way my stronger shoulder can help my weaker shoulder. And my stronger shoulder and weaker shoulder are switching on pretty much a day-to-day basis these days. But right now, okay. So I'll bring the arms up for Warrior One. Again, look forward or try to look up. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. Now you can also do Warrior One with your hands apart. So you don't have to have your hands together, hands apart. Main thing here is the shoulders want to shrug. Don't let that happen. Pull those shoulder blades down. Deep breaths. And now we'll go to Warrior Two. So hands to your hips. Straighten out the front knee for a moment. Turn your hips to the side. Look over that left shoulder. So for Warrior Two, it's like your body is flat against a wall behind you. And you're looking forward over that left shoulder. Arms come up. Now remember, the shoulders want to shrug. Pull those shoulder blades down. When you're learning this, you can keep that front knee straight. Or as you get used to it, you can certainly start coming into a deeper and deeper lunge. Warrior Two. Now the torso wants to lean forward, but think about your backbone being straight up and down. Try to breathe only through the nose. Deep breaths. Now you probably noticed that when people teach yoga, they don't get to breathe only through their nose because we have to speak. And so you're at an advantage to me right now. You feel sorry for me, you can if you want. Turn the palm up in the front, reverse, Warrior left shoulder up, right shoulder drops low, look up towards your left hand. You can always straighten out that front knee, that's fine. Or, as you get used to this, you can feel pretty good. Good stretch in that right side, left side. Drop that right shoulder nice and low. Nice. Warrior Two, just for a moment. And then come to a lunge. From your lunge, drop down onto your knees. Take the knees wide and rock back. Just stay here for a moment. Lay your head down. Kirsa, you don't have to do that. Maybe she does. All right. Now from here, let's take our right foot forward for a moment. We're going to come into a hip flexor stretch here. So take your right foot forward, both hands to the inside of your right foot and scoot that left knee back, and then bring your upper body up. Rock your hips forward. So you want to feel a stretch where your hip and the top of your leg are coming together. You want to push this down and forward. So this is the hip flexor group of muscles, and they don't get stretched that much. They contract all the time, but they don't, it's hard to stretch them. You have to really push your hips down and forward. And let's try this on the other side. So come back onto your hands and knees, and then let's take that left foot forward, both hands to the inside of your left ankle, and scoot that right knee back. Upper body comes up, or you can keep your hands on your mat and rock forward to feel a stretch in this hip flexor. Very good. Let's scoot around to a seated position. And actually, from this seated position, go ahead and lay your head and shoulders all the way down. Pretty good, yeah. Now we are going to do boat pose. Don't do it yet. I'll talk you through it. But boat pose will end up balancing on the tailbone. That might not be for you. So lay back, hands behind your head. And whenever I say boat pose, don't do boat pose. You can lay here and rest. That's gonna be fine. Lay here and rest, deep breaths, or without pulling on your neck, you can use your arms just a little bit here, but without pulling on your neck, lift your head off of the mat. That's all you have to do. If you just lift your head off of the mat and if your elbows are coming up, you're pulling. So try not to see any elbows. Elbows wide. And just, if you hold your head up, if you just try that, you'll feel your tummy engage. In an exercise science class, I would say abdominal wall, but this is yoga. So let the tummy engage. Okay, now the next harder thing without coming to boat is to hold a crunch. So it's the same thing, hands behind your head without pulling, but instead of just holding your head off of the mat, get your shoulder blades just barely off of the mat. Again, don't pull on your head. That does no good here. Let the head rest in your hands, arms back, and just get those shoulder blades just barely off the floor. Whenever I say boat, you'll feel it. Okay, you'll feel that tummy engage. So if you want the whole thing, if you want to go to boat, remember when we rock up into boat, if it hurts, don't do it. But what you can do is you can grab behind your knees, so you can hang on to your knees the whole time. You can grab the front of your knees if you like, so you can hold your knees when you come into bow. Ultimately, you want to be able to do it without holding onto the knees. So either hold your head up, come into a crunch, rock forward to boat, hold on to your knees if you need to. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. And that's a lot to say, isn't it? All about just hello, all about coming into boat. This is the one who was barking. She is the alpha female, and she, go ahead and lay back. She takes her job seriously, seriously. Now let both knees go slowly together. Don't rush this. When you get all the way to one side, stay there for a moment and feel this in your hips. Feel those hip sockets. And then when you come all the way over to the other side, stay here for a moment. Feel that in the hips. And then do that a couple more times on your own. Just let it feel good. Let the hips go back and forth. All right, we're going to do boat pose 2 more times. I don't know if I told you we were going to do 3 of these. I may not have. I like to do some of the harder things in 3s. All right, so get ready. Again, you can just hold your head up, hold a crunch, hang on to your knees, come into boat, or come into boat, and release your knees. There's an ancient version of boat, and it's called rowboat. Lay back and gently let your knees go from side to side. Just take a moment here to let that feel good. Gently let the knees go, and when you get all the way to the one side, stay there for a moment. Involve your hips. The hips, with a lot of people, certainly me, want to be stiff. Hips, lower back. Just like that. Hips feel light for a moment. And then we'll do boat pose 1 more time. Yeah, we'll do 1 more. All right. 1 more time. Boat pose. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. Now lay all the way back. Put your feet flat to your mat, knees pointed straight up. Now let your ankles and knees be just a little bit apart, not too far apart, just a little bit apart. Hands palms down by your hips, and then lift your hips up. And you want to push your belly button up as high as you can. If you can, arch your back here and push up. You want to really work your glutes here. So really, that's a modern term, isn't it? You want to really work your booty. Work that booty. And then relax your hips for a moment. Wiggle your hips. Now we're going to do this almost the same thing again, but you don't have to do this variation. You can have both feet down on the ground. That's going to be fine. Or you can center your left foot and cross your right ankle over so that when you lift your hips up, you're on one foot and your right knee is sticking out to the side. Now staying here, keeping everything as straight as you can, just see if you can drop that right knee down toward the floor. And then bring the right knee back up, bring your hips down and wiggle out your legs for a moment. Now we'll do that one more time. We'll do that on the other side. So you can, again, be on both feet. That's going to be just fine. You can stay on both feet. Or this time, you can cross your left ankle over your right knee. Hands palms down by your hips. Now center that right foot, bring it in a little bit, and then lift up. Try to keep a straight line from your neck to your knee, and then drop that left knee down. Nice. Bring the left knee up. Come down for a gentle landing. Grab behind your knees. And then from here, pull the knees in tightly, lay back on your back. Pull the knees in tightly. Stay here, breathe. Now, you may have done yoga before. If you know another inversion pose that you would like to do, this would be the time to do it. So if you know something else, go ahead and do it. But if you're new to yoga, remember anytime toward the end of a yoga class when we go into inversions, all you really have to do is to get your knees up above your heart. If you can get the knees up above the heart, you're just fine. Now you don't even have to hold your knees up. If you can find a stretch of wall where you could come and put your legs up against the wall, that's going to be just fine. Or if you're in your living room, you can lay down in front of a chair and then just drop your lower legs into the seat of the chair. But anyway, toward the end of a yoga class, we still have some stretching to go, but toward the end of a yoga class, we like to get these legs up into the air. And again, if you know the more advanced inversion poses, it gets better and better for you. But remember, health-wise, the best thing is to do what you can do, is to just hold your knees above your heart. You're fine. All right. Let us rock forward from here to a seated position. Now you want to make sure that your head is going to land on your mat again. All right. So we're going to stretch this right leg, and I'm going to show you two ways to do this. One is for people who are really tight and it's going to be hard to do this other stretch. So if you're really tight, grab your knee like this and lay back. You're actually grabbing the shin. And what you're going to be working is this hip socket, trying to loosen it up. So that's really all you're working on here. But it really helps if you have trouble with these kinds of stretches. So what you'll do is you'll keep your left leg on the floor, actually grabbing the shin right below the knee, and then you're pulling this knee in like towards your armpit. And then once you get it there, wiggle it around. Just wiggle it around. Let that feel good. Now, if you need a deeper stretch, instead of grabbing your knee, grab your calf with your knee straight and lay all the way back. So if you have your knee, just hang on to that knee, pull it in, wiggle it around. If you have your calf, first of all, see if you can straighten out the knee. And then wiggle your foot. Wiggle your foot every way it will wiggle. Let that foot wiggle out. And then let it go floppy. And then bring your knee over your heart and pull down. And if this is good for you, stay here, go no further. If you are pretty flexible, grab your right foot with your right hand, lay your head and shoulders back, left arm goes out wide on the floor, and then let that right leg go out wide to the side. Now that may or may not be your stretch. So you just take this to where it feels good. And remember, just hang on to that knee. And let's all rock forward. Seated position, wiggle out the legs. Let's do the same thing on the left leg. Remember, grab that knee. You're going to be good. Rock back. Think about what your hip is doing. If you can, go ahead and grab the calf. Lay back. Head and shoulders to the mat. Try to get the knee straight. Right leg goes to the floor. Wiggle that foot. Wiggle it every way it will go. When you do this, you'll feel how the muscles of the calf control the foot. It feels pretty cool. Now with the knee straight, if you can get it, let the foot be floppy. Left knee over your heart, and then pull down. Deep breaths. And then stay here if this is good for you, or if you need something a little more. With your left hand, grab your left foot, straighten out your left leg. Right hand goes out wide, palm down. And that left leg can go out wide. I think I'll just hold the knee here for a moment. Very good. Now straighten out. Both legs on your mat, give them a bit of a wiggle. Now we're going to take knees pointed up. So point your knees straight up. Your feet are flat to the mat, and let your knees simply drop out wide to the sides. The soles of the feet come together, and you're never supposed to bounce in a stretch, but this will feel good if you give your knees a very gentle wiggle. And just let the inner thigh muscles relax a little bit. And then let your knees go still, and take your hands and place your hands gently onto your thighs and gently press down. For normal flexibility, our knees should go all the way to the floor here. And for most of us, that's not the case. Very few people have that kind of flexibility, but that's where we should, aim for. Don't try to get there today if that's not you. Bring both knees up, straighten out your legs on your mat and give them a wiggle. And now take both elbows out wide. If you're confident on the flooring around you, you can take both hands out wide, palms down. Take your right leg straight up into the air. Turn your head to the right. Hold that right shoulder down. Bend your right knee. And then take your right knee over to the left side of your mat. So roll up so that you're standing on your left hip, your right hip's up into the air. Now, if you can, with your left hand, grab that right knee and guide it gently over toward the left. If that's not you, just do what you can. You can leave that right leg straight too. That might help you get it over there. That's going to be your call. Now your right leg is going to the left. Have your backbone straight from your hips to your shoulders. And now your shoulders are going right. So what we're doing here is a good internal spinal twist. Now, this is not just good for the muscles and the bones, but this is really good for our internal organs. They are elastic and they love to be pulled and squished and mished and stretched out. Lay back on your back, wiggle out your knees, elbows wide or hands wide, left leg up, bend that left knee, turn your head to the left, left shoulder tries to stay going left. If you can, grab your left knee with your right hand. You don't have to. You can keep your left leg straight. That might help you here too. But keep your left shoulder going left. Your left hip is going right. You're standing on your right hip. You have a straight line from your hip through your backbone to your shoulders. And now we're really getting a nice spinal twist. Go ahead and bring your left leg back and straighten out your legs beside each other. Get them away. Got a nice spinal twist. Now let's take a moment to do the hardest possible thing for a human being to do, and that is to completely relax. It's impossible, really. There are always some muscles firing somewhere, but we want to try to get the voluntary muscles to stop firing, okay? So scan your body from head to toe. You've earned a little relaxation. Take about 5 minutes here. Let this happen. Scan your body. Tell every muscle that doesn't need to be tight to loosen up. Just tell every muscle to relax. If it feels good, lay flat on your back. If it feels good, hands by your hips, palms up. Close your eyes. Concentrate on your breathing. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. Sometimes relaxing is very, very difficult. One thing that we can do that helps, hopefully, is to key on our breath. Because our breath, our heart, our body rhythms, all together. So if we can slow the breath down just a little bit to make the breath deeper, more satisfying, it can help use the breath to calm the body, calm the mind. And by doing so, perhaps, just maybe, release the soul from the turmoil of this earth. We'll do 3 signal breaths. On the 3rd breath, let mind, body, breath, soul flow together in one. Taking a deep breath through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. Ah. Taking a deep breath through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. Ah. Deep breath. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. Taking a deep breath and pull your toes up to help it come in. On a long exhale, roll over onto your right side. Curl up like a puppy. Make a pillow with your hands. Feel the warmth of your breath. Feel your heart beat. Take a moment to think of true power, true strength. Take a moment to think of the people who have loved you. Feel the power of that love. I hope you have it. And remember, on your life's journey, the greatest strength you and I can possibly have is the strength of love. We end the yoga class with the word namaste, ancient Sanskrit word. It means when I look into your eyes, I see the spark of the divine. When I look into your eyes, I see a person with a soul, person loved by God. But I'm in the deep south, so namaste, y'all. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for being here.